His Excellency Eric Achonwakama Abia, Chief Barrister Felix Mbada Eboin, Chief Alex A.A. Obi Imo, Ambassador Fidelia Kwabatan Jeze Enugu, Chief Mrs. Chinelo Mofos Chidebelu Anambra. Please come out for inauguration of the National Chairman. The Board of Trustees Chairman.
You will agree with me. One, the first person is H.E. Eric Acho Wakama, please. Congratulations. We have Chief Barrister Felix Mbada. Ambassador Fidelia Njete. Dr. Alex A.A. Obi.
Sorry, the chairman, he wants to catch the shot. No, thank you.
Chief Mrs. Oh, she's not around. Chinelu, what we give for her. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Cond.
God to be the one to kickstart the military service session to mark the successful end of the National Working Committee that came on board on 10th day of December 2007. With Prince Uche Secondus as the chairman, with myself at the tail end of the administration as the acting national chairman. I have to thank all of you for the cooperation you gave us during the life of our tenure, without which the success story would have been very difficult. I have to say, without any fear of contradiction, that we have done our best. We have done our best. By playing the role we have played that brought ourselves to this position. On behalf of outgoing members of the NWC, I sincerely welcome the incoming members, this time under the chairmanship of Senator Yosha Ayu.
Make some suggestions for administrative purposes and put together some recommendations for future purposes. This Friday, 2 days' time, it will be exactly 4 years that we were sworn in as deputy/national officers. Immediately we were sworn in, we were all happy and came in peace with high hope, determination to serve, firmness of purpose, and with the mindset to add to the makeup of PDP as the most vibrant political party in Nigeria. Not quite a week after resumption, we were asked to go and read the Constitution and should abide by the provision. To remind ourselves of what the Constitution says, we have to act in the absence of our principal officers. No one will pray for evil over a principal officer so that you can be opportune to act. Instead, we always pray for them. We therefore remain an unused extra tire. Where necessary and where requested, we complement their effort. I want to place on record that as deputies, we met officially with the former chairman, Prince Uche Secondus, only 3 times. Our complaints for engagements were rebuffed. Hope to serve were dashed, and we were rendered inconsequential. We have to rely on rumor and hearsay for information about our dear party. We have to lobby for engagements and assignments. Of course, our positions as deputies did not come with any monetary allowance, and so we were not given. Even where there were social outings, we were never taken along, we were never invited. It was that bad.
That we did our best. We met PDP with 11 governors, and we took PDP to 16 governors. And APC began to fraudulently whittle down the numbers of the governors we have by stealing our elected governorship position in Imo State, giving it to a fourth position person in that election. And up to today, democracy in the whole world is still crying for it. I also wish to let everybody know that when we came in, we had about 30-something senators. And let nobody forget that along the line, a lot of senators were caused to decamp from the ruling party to PDP, courtesy of this NWC. Don't also forget what we did in the House of Reps. And it is important for us to know that the almighty Kano State that Buhari used to make mouth with, that we won it in 2019, even though fraudulently they took it away from us. 2019 general election, the person that won the presidency, every Nigerian knows, foreign nations knows, that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of PDP, won that election, but the candidate of APC, Muhammad Buhari, stole that mandate. It is very clear to every one of us, unless if we don't want to be sincere, unless if we don't want this democracy to continue in Nigeria. I also wish to tell all of you that in every state that we are in charge today, at the north and at the south, that is the only place you see that democracy is working. Other states where APC is in charge, we are seriously in trouble.
In the 4 years of my administration as the national woman leader of our great party, PDP, I led PDP women through varying leadership torrent. Remarkably, we were able to put one foot through the door of actual inclusion of women in decision-making levels of politics. I sincerely hope that the incoming national woman leader will make her mark on this by joining subject matter of women's political inclusion. We sincerely look forward to the days when promises will translate to actions on women's political inclusions. On my part as the outgoing national woman leader, my flagship programs on gender equality, women empowerment, and strategic mobilization of women identify areas for which PDP will benefit from an increasingly harmonized and scale on pragmatic actions. Few of my achievements as PDP national woman leader include, but not limited to, 1. My office, through my inclusion and advancement projects, created an accessible and enable environment for girls and women to proactively participate in politics by creating the first interactive platform for PDP female youths called PDP Female Youth Group.
I want to thank God today, the 7th day of December 2021, for His grace upon me and indeed on all my supporters, my colleagues who have served this party in the last 4 years. It can only be by the grace of God that this has happened. Indeed, let me place on record that this is the first time that an NWC of this party since 1999 has served together for 4 good years. That can only be the grace of God. So may God alone be praised in Jesus' mighty name. Let me speak for my office. I'll resume after the inauguration on the 10th of November 2017 as the National Legal Advisor of PDP. When I resumed, there was no functional office for me to work in that department. So I used my money and renovated the office and furnish it and make it functional and effective to befit an office of a National Legal Advisor of the party. When I received the handing over notes from my predecessor of blessed memory, Victor Kwon, I discovered that the party was indebted to other lawyers who did works for the party in previous years to the tune of 3-point-something billion naira. That was an alarming report. So I discovered that it would be suicidal for me to begin to behave as the previous legal advisor. So what I did was to ensure that we set up a functional legal office. By that, I approached the National Working Committee with a memo soliciting for them to give me the opportunity to appoint 2 lawyers as permanent staff of the Department of Law in the party. And that memo was granted. Today, we have 2 lawyers working with the National Legal Advisor to do cases in that department in-house. Arising from that achievement, we set out to handle all of the cases that came to us that we are joined as from the Secretariat as a party in any part of the Federation. Today, we have prosecuted 122 cases. 88 of these cases have been concluded from the High Court to the Supreme Court. And I want to place on record that we have not lost any case except one out of the 88 cases. Let me also place on record that only 44 cases are pending for the incoming legal advisor to handle. Let me also place on record that today we did 26 cases, 44 cases in the Court of Appeal. Only 3 of these cases are pending in the Court of Appeal for the next legal advisor to handle. We have won 41 out of these 43 cases in the Court of Appeal.
Of every role we played on behalf of the People's Democratic Party in the last 4 years. And personally, I am excited because the Bible says there's always a time and season for everything under the sun. And today, it is a time and season to bring to an end working with this caliber of gentlemen, responsible, prepared, ready from day one to deliver on the mandate that we're given. When Prince Uche Secondus led us to take over from Senator McAfee, the APC said this party was dead. It was everywhere that I could remember the BMC people once asked me on Channels Television when we met, Kola, what did you say you are doing? You want to revive a dead party? Are you a pastor or an imam? How are you going to do it? But to the glory of God Almighty, this leadership took charge of the party. And by the time we hit the APC, the governors of Benue State, of Kwara State, and of Sokoto joined the PDP. We did not stop at that. The leadership of this party got the president of the Senate for the first time in the history of this country, as well as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, to leave their own party and teamed up with us. They didn't come alone. They came with a number of senators and House of Rep members. And how did we achieve this? Because we came with the intention and the desire and the dream of working on 3 R's. What are these 3 R's? Because you see, Nigerians, it's very easy for us to forget things. What were these 3 R's? We wanted to reposition the People's Democratic Party. We wanted to rebuild the People's Democratic Party. And we wanted to regain the grounds that were lost. Did we achieve this? We achieved. We were able to reposition the party and return it to the ordinary people. For them to claim the party as theirs. And to, on account of that, support the party. We achieved this. We went further to rebuild. When people stand up and say that, oh, it's just press releases. Oh, it's just press statement. I just laugh. They didn't see us. When we're in the sun and in the rain, going to National Assembly to go and fight against the stoppage of Onoche. They didn't see us after they took over the Imo state from us, and they were against us and trying to take over Sokoto and Bauchi. And we went around all the embassies in this country, in the sun and in the rain. They didn't see that. They didn't see us when we were regaining states. But all that they remember is press statements and press releases. But for some of us who believe in the verdict of history, we are conscious and we know it, that forever, to this NWC, history will remain kind to us. And I have no doubts in my mind. Because we work in the interest of the party, because we serve the party diligently. But having said that, my director, Madam Chinwe, said it's a day of speeches. I agree with that. But it's not a day of long speeches, because people are already agitated. So let me stop at this moment. But let me leave this with us. That we must remember, when we think about the Uche Secondus and Akinwumi leadership of the People's Democratic Party, that we brought a situation to this party where Ghana must go came to an end. It must be in our record. We gave this party the opportunity to its members that if you fight at the grassroots and you won your election in the primary, nobody can come to Wadata and change names. We achieved that. And I give thanks to all my colleagues and to the ebullient NOS, Colonel Akobundu, retired but not tired. But having said this, I want us to also remember that we restructured the workforce. We restructured the workforce of this party and made it smart. We must also remember that for many years, and I'm happy, our leader, a former national chairman, at the retreat, said that he started a process of online registration in order to be able to encapsulate our members, but it was not allowed to manifest. I can stand bold, and my shoulders are high, that under this leadership, that we started online registration of members, and that it is ongoing. And Senator Iyochia Ayu leadership, I advise her, take over that responsibility and ensure that we know the total number of our members in Nigeria and abroad. But having said that, let me thank those who consider me worthy of this job. Those who on their own put me forward for this responsibility. And let me start by mentioning the name of my leader and a boss like no other, Senator David Mark. Let me thank Senator Tunde Ogbiha. Let me thank Senator Ike Ekwerimadu. Let me thank Senator Mao Ohabunwa. And let me thank Senator Samuel Ayahu, who is rightly seated here. I will not forget, and how dare I to forget, the Governor General of the PDP, Governor Nyesom Wike. And how will I forget Governor Dave Umahi, though he has left us? And how dare I to forget Governor Ifeanyi Okowa? How will I forget Alhaji Ibrahim Idris, my former governor? Honorable TJ Yusuf, Honorable Osai, Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, Chief Olisametu, the Chief Servant of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Babangida Aliyu, Honorable Karimi, Princess Bola, Honorable Chuchu, Architect Yomi Awoni, Honorable Rita of Lagos, as well as my young sister, who is seated here, Adibakin. I thank you all for putting me forward for this responsibility. And I must quickly proceed to thank my staff. And I start this. First and foremost, let me thank my deputy, who is also a professional colleague, and who together were able to do all that we did. So, Prince Dino Odeyemi, I am grateful. To my staff, from Richard Ihediwa, my confidential secretary, Angela, history, Shegun, Mutiu, Pastor, Ephraim, Madam Chinwe, my good neighbors who work in the organizing secretary's office, Adeyemi, Okoro, Madam Florence, and Madam Kramer, who was in charge of contact with our international partners. I am very grateful to all. My dear colleagues, from the irremovable chairman, Alhaji Lateef, to Azimazi Bade Ogunwale, the youth leader, Oga Chuks, all of you, I am grateful. I thank you. Also, I must not forget Seun Okinbaloye, Ijeoma Osamo, Chiko Dinaka, Madam Ijoma Nwogugu, Anayo and Rita of Fort FM, and all my bosses and colleagues. I am very, in the print and broadcast media, you have to make a difficult job very simple. Let me not forget also, yes, let me round up, sir. Let me also not forget the army of PDP social media team, from Emmanuel Ume, Adela Nwosu, Tony Ehilebo, Lanre Toluhi, History, John Shuaibu, Rita, Chizom, Amara, Brenda, Rita Yubua, Oseanini, Love Zidon, Faisal, Demola Olarewaju, owned the cattle before she abandoned us, Santo, Somto, Nuhu, Abdullahi, and Aresa Lere, Shegun Showumi, Kachi Onanuju, Chief Ediola Feso, and Okolibo. You all made this job simple. On a personal note, I want to thank the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Udom Emmanuel, for his relentless support in the course of this assignment. To my dear wife, Omolola, and the children, thank you for those sleepless nights. I'm grateful. Before I leave, if I leave here without saying this, I'll be owing all the members of the NWC, and I'll be owing my generation. So I must speak to this. I plead with all of us as leaders of the party to invite Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, and ask him whether in truth there was any tax that was given to this NWC and was collected. I believe Governor Obaseki owe it to Nigerians. He also owes it to us to clear the air about those words, tax collectors. We did not collect tax, we didn't ask, and none was given. If there was anything that Governor Obaseki gave to us, was a thank you that he wrote on his cap, and also gave to his deputy, and gave to his chairman in the state, and came to this very hall to thank the NWC.
Undeterred, our National Working Committee rose to the occasion to revamp our party. The Directorate of Organization under my watch immediately initiated sweeping reforms which helped to define the operational roadmap with integrity as the watchword. Concrete efforts were initiated as well towards internal democracy and the restoration of confidence of members as well as Nigerians at large in our party. The result was a surge of returnees and new entrants into our party, leading to the regaining control of some states from APC, as well as the leadership of the two chambers of the National Assembly in 2018, with numerous legislators on board. Through our vigorous campaigns our party went ahead to win 16 governorship seats in 2019 against the 11 inherited by our NWC in 2017. With the benefit of the reforms, the Directorate of Organization under my watch succeeded in restoring transparency in our processes. You will recall that my office those days used to be the cesspit of corruption, and we stamped our authority to ensure that no such things happened under our watch. This led to credible congresses, primaries, drastic reduction in intra-party frictions, disagreements, and post-Congress litigations. In the build-up to 2019 general election, our party conducted the 2018 presidential convention, which has been adjudged the best in the history of our country. Given the credibility of the process, there was no single litigation after the announcement of the results. We achieved this by ensuring seamless accreditation processes, which were aided by the introduction of innovations such as customized ballot papers with photographs of aspirants to enhance the credibility of the process. These customized ballot papers were also used for our gubernatorial primaries. We also undertook the redesigning of result sheet booklets to have separate sheets for results and summary sheets. This is to ensure more credibility in the documentation of results and for data keeping. Other innovations included wide and prompt dissemination of information and notices, and enlightenment, photograph delegate tags, publication of delegates lists, which was not the practice before we came, and use of technology-driven accreditation process in our congresses and convention. We also introduced a server in the directorate to keep electronic records of data, including names of officials at all levels, to avoid any alteration or manipulation. This in addition to the creation of secured store. This is in addition to the creation of secured store at the National Secretariat for safekeeping and electoral documents. Such innovations, in addition to robust consultations, also led to the smooth conduct of 2021 National Convention and the election for our new crop of leaders.
Because of the controversies or the misconceptions that may come. And so mine would just to say clearly that we inherited this party with a set of liabilities, and to God be the glory for the hard work that we have done, for the opportunity that the party has given to us. We are not leaving this party indebted. As a Chief Financial Operations Officer of the party, I can say as much as the National Auditor has said, that we have completed our responsibilities with INEC and have deposited our audited accounts, including those that we inherited that were undone. We did 6 years of audited accounts, all submitted to INEC. I can also say clearly, without fear of contradiction, that we put in place a mechanism that will answer the questions of our budgeting processes, the management, protection of our assets, and the capacity of the party to initiate programs that will generate revenues. This National Working Committee, instituted for the first time ever the budget asset revenue unit of the party that has now become the unit responsible for the management of our assets, for the production of our budgets, and for domiciling information relating to the revenues generated within the party. I can also say that for the first time in the history of our 21 years as a political party, this National Working Committee wanted to know in clear terms the assets of the party. And so we have put in place the first time ever the asset register of the People's Democratic Party, and will be handing over same to the incoming National Working Committee.
By the grace of God, I'm an accountant by profession. I was once a member of House of Representatives. When I came here, it's a different ball game here in the party administration. When we came, there was no account of the party. It meant a zero balance when we came on board. And we designed a program so that we can generate income to the party. That's why what we did when we came on board, to be able to, in 2019, for the sale of farm, we engaged consultants. We advised the party because of our debts, outside our accounts being garnished. Over 400 million was garnished from our account of the party. And up to today, we still have some pockets of garnishing others. But to the glory of God, the Finance Committee, headed by the Akwa State Governor, we were able to negotiate. We negotiated with all our debtors, and to the glory of God, they will have an account for the party. That's what we did. We have an account, at least for the party, for the incoming National Treasurer and the Secretary and the Chairman, who are the signatories to the account, to work on.
Every one of you. Our able Chairman of the BOT, Senator Walid Jibrin, I salute you, sir. As I salute our leader in the House of Representatives, Sir Honorable Elumelu, may I also salute in a special way the incoming National Chairman, His Excellency Senator Yocha Ayu. With you is your deputy, the National Secretary also is there, Senator Sam Dadi Ayamu, the NOS, Honorable Bature, respected members of the BOT who have been here since morning. I salute each and every one of you. Former governors, former presiding officers. I can see, of course, Honorable Emeka Ihediora there, former governor of Imo State, Achike Udenwa, former governor of Imo State. Well, the mask is doing so much these days. Forgive me. I want to say that on the 10th of December 2017, the McAfee-led caretaker committee gladly handed over to the Uche Secondus leadership. A leadership that emerged from a very transparent convention. Now today, I think we are happier for it. Did the Secondus leadership do well? They did very well. Were they transparent? They were very transparent. They promised to increase the governors for the PDP. Did they do that? They did. They promised to deliver the presidential elections to the PDP. Did they do that? They did. We are therefore very proud of you, gentlemen and ladies. As you're living with your heads very, very high. Unfortunately, Prince Uche Secondus is not here. but I want to say that he also did very, very well. An elder, despite your health challenge, you came out at the right time and provided leadership. The good Lord will restore your health. The good Lord will keep you to see victory, which the PDP will get in 2023. And now back to the new sheriff that is coming into town on Friday. Your Excellency, sir, you know I have worked with you. I know you are in very safe hands. The PDP is therefore extremely very lucky at this point in time to have you, your deputy, your national secretary, your national organizing secretary. These are men that I have worked with over the years, and I can assure you, standing here this afternoon, that the PDP is on its way to victory in 2023.
Mine is coming late, but I'm going to be done very soon. It is with a very shared sense of accomplishment that on behalf of National Assembly Minority Caucus members, I address you at this valedictory session of the National Working Committee of our great party, PDP. This event is significant because the achievement of seamless transition in party administration at the expiration of a statutory tenure reinforces the status of the PDP as a party of statesmen and women and the mainstay of democratic practice in our country. Moreover, it signposts the unity, cohesiveness, and progress that will pervade our nation when our party eventually takes over power come 2023 from the vexatious, retrogressive, and corrupt all-progressive Congress-led government. May I again commend the efforts of our leaders, the NWC, our governors, my bosses, the legislators, Board of Trustee members, NEC, and all PD members across the nation towards the success of the 2021 elective National Convention. I am happy that we have roundly shamed APC. Even today, they can't even do convention. They have no BOT. And their agents, who as a naysayers and enemies of democracy, have set landmines, expecting our party to submerge in crisis, factionalize and founder. But just like the chairman-elect said, they set out to elect 36 chairmen plus FCT, which is 37, but they ended up electing 92 chairmen. They should go and harmonize before they do their convention, so as to deny Nigerians the platform to rescue our nation from the vicious claws and deadly stranglehold of the APC. The APC has failed in governance and party administration, and a crushing fall awaits them in 2023. And let me clearly state, it has never been this bad. Only our nation, since APC came into power, our neighboring countries are now insulting us. Ghana has a free visa zone to Dubai, but ours, even to get the visa and after getting the visa, is a problem. This was caused by APC. Just a few days ago, United Kingdom blacklisted Nigeria because of the bad luck of APC. So God will remove them come 2023. I dare say that in spite of its many challenges, the outgoing NWC is an embodiment of the resilient spirit of the PDP. I recall that by December 2017, when this NWC took office, our party was still hurting and heavily demoralized over the national tragedy of the loss of the 2015 general election. This NWC took up the challenge picked our party from its lowest ebb, rebuilt our political stables, rekindled the zeal of our members, and restored the confidence of Nigerians in the People's Democratic Party. Working with our governors and other organs of our party, the NWC achieved rapid reconciliations, saw to the mass return of critical stakeholders, and gained more states, in addition to the leadership of the 2 chambers of National Assembly to the People's Democratic Party. In spite of the many threats, harassment, intimidation from the violent-prone and suppressive APC, one can attest to how PDP, under the outgoing NWC, courageously rose to the occasion in presenting a forceful opposition and exposing the incompetence, lies, corruption, horrific atrocities of the APC, while showing our party as a viable option for the nation.
Other distinguished excellencies here present, members of the press, I want to thank everybody who has come for this valedictory session. I particularly want to thank the acting chairman for his selfless service to this party. At the most critical period in the life of this party, he came to the rescue. After my boss, the BOT chairman, had done the necessary groundwork to make sure that the party remains standing. Mr. Chairman, we thank you and we pray that you recover fully, because there is so much that you can still help us to do as we move ahead. Let me also inform all members of the working committee under your leadership that they are not outgoing. They are leaving their offices, but they are not leaving the party. And I think I'll be speaking the mind of all party faithful across the country to say that we are very grateful to you for the services you have rendered the party so far. Because many of you have worked for this party at lower levels before coming to the national level. It's a life of service to this party, in spite of whatever challenges you've given in your best, as everybody is testifying. I want to thank you for that service, for the contribution for the growth of the party, because without that, perhaps we wouldn't have had a party today. Those of us who formed this party under extremely challenging circumstances, we had a vision that this party will be so big and so powerful that it will be impossible for anybody or any circumstance to destroy it midstream. I think that vision has been justified by the role you have played, because the party is bigger, is stronger, and we know it's very difficult to run a party as an opposition. But I think you have discharged your responsibilities to the best of your abilities. Secondly, only those who have done nothing in life have not made mistakes. It is very normal for an active human being who is striving to achieve something to make mistakes. And it's very normal that you should learn from the mistakes. The problem is when you don't learn from such mistakes. I believe whatever mistakes you think you have made, it is only human, and all the PDP family will not only appreciate you, but will be ready to forgive whatever mistakes you have made, because your contribution is bigger than whatever mistakes you must have made. And I think you should be proud and very willing to participate actively in party activities, because the experience you have gained cannot be bought in the market. It is only experienced people who will help us to see that we achieve more. The journey ahead is going to be turbulent and rough. Many people have attributed to me all sorts of capabilities, some saying the Messiah that is coming. I'm sorry to say I'm not a Messiah, I'm not Jesus Christ. Neither am I Muhammad. I'm only a team leader who believes firmly that to run a big political party of this nature, you must work with everybody. The NWC under my leadership will be extremely coherent. They must work as a team. There will be no divisions. I will not allow any divisions, and that will extend to all other members of the party. We intend to run an inclusive administration, and that will include all members of the current working committee that is about to hand over to us. It will extend to broaden the frontiers of our administration to include every party leader in every state. And I believe together we will succeed. And if we succeed, I have succeeded.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.